Chapter 1. Being Authentic with a System That Resonates. It was another perfect morning at the California Coffee Cafe and Bistro, the favorite spot of the locals in the tiny, upscale California coastal town of Rancho Benicia. The fog was floating in from the harbor across the street as the regulars zipped in and out or stayed to chat, enjoying the ambiance of the little cafe. Benny Banks, the owner, was standing behind the antique oak bar that had been there when the town was a harbor for 19th century sailing ships, and the place was a watering hole for the waterfront sailors. Now, though, Benny and his three baristas proudly labored between it and the wonderfully gilded Italian espresso machine for this watering hole of a different era and all the friends that had made him and his team. He took a moment, glanced around, and he smiled. 5 of his favorite regulars were there right now. In the center of the cafe, with her large double mocha, was Sheila Marie Devereaux, one of the most prominent realtors in town. Flamboyant, to say the least, the eclectic woman with her raven black hair, her bright outfits, and her happy way of talking with her hands was hard to miss at her favorite table in the middle of the morning chaos. Benny couldn't remember the last time he had seen her there alone. She always had someone with her, which of course Benny liked, since that meant yet another coffee drinker. But he couldn't help but notice that whoever the current person was, Sheila Marie would treat them or her like family, just as she's always done with him. "Benny, a fill-up, please." Benny turned his head to another of his regulars, Paul Kingston, a casually dressed 30-something good guy, who was holding out his empty vanilla latte. Paul, a fixture each morning in the corner booth with his sports page and his own special coffee mug, was one of those trustworthy men who knew everybody and seemed to know a little bit about everything, who loved spreading his knowledge around and who had found a home in managing sales at the largest auto dealership in town. Benny could not think of one bad thing he'd ever heard about Paul, except that he was talking about cutting down on his latte consumption. This made Benny laugh since Paul had just ordered another. Out on the patio sat young Sarah Simpson, female entrepreneur of the year before she turned 29, holding court. It was Tuesday, every Tuesday and Thursday, 8:30 a.m. sharp. That was where she and 8 of her top salespeople met. A dynamo, all business and proud of it. Sarah loved to have her early morning meetings with all her system sales consultants in the warm California coastal air under Benny's umbrellas. "Double espressos all around, Benny," was always her good morning, and he always made hers a triple just to see if she noticed. And then there was Philip Stackhouse, striding in on his expensive loafers with his large cappuccino no whip, with a purposeful time to get the day started wave. Philip, who had just turned 40, had somehow turned his networking ability and his early years hustling securities on Wall Street into being the guy to trust in Rancho Benicia for financial planning. Everybody knew it, everybody trusted him and told their friends about him. The usual, Benny called as Philip came toward him, saving Philip a few seconds. Philip gave him his trademark thumbs up and bellied up to the old oak bar, laid down $6 on the counter as he waited for Benny to deliver his morning brew, which Benny did in record time. As he watched Philip pivot and head purposefully back out the door with a smiling salute to the coffee colonel, Benny gazed over the scene, hands on his hips, enjoying the sight.